Here we go. Welcome back, everyone, to Clone Wars Commentary. My name is Cheyenne, and here today with me I have...
Joe.
Rebecca.
And Connor.
Wow, what a crew. Thank you guys for joining me again.
You may even call us a bad batch.
Oh,
what's your bad batch name?
Yeah, really.
Well, can I be tech or no? I
you have to come up with your own.
You're an own bad batch.
Okay, by the end of this episode, you have to have your bad batch name.
Okay. All right. I don't know what that'll be, but we'll think about it.
I'm gonna be contemplating.
You know what? Here's gonna
That's your bad batch name? Contemplating? Did we just ruin your intro, Cheyenne?
Yeah.
No. Literally what?
It's the intro that takes less than 12 parseconds.
Parseconds?
Parseconds.
Is that a thing? Parseconds?
No, definitely not.
It is for podcasts.
It's the Kessel Run
Weekly.
Kessel Run Weekly. You know?
That's right.
Intro with less than 12
parseconds.
Very funny.
Come on,
didn't ruin my
contemplating, chill out.
You set yourself up for that.
You're right.
You
You're
really
right.
did.
You're right. I'm still gonna have my name at the end of the episode.
No, I wanted to, my fun question was going to be, and this is something I asked Summer in our first episode, but if there was a live action, not saying that there ever will be or that this is a theory of things, I'm just saying, if there was a live action of the Bad Batch, who do you think would play each of the Bad Batch members?
Ooh, from Hollywood.
Yes. Yeah. Action star, regular star, whatever, model, actress.
The Rock can be Wrecker.
Yep, that's what we said.
Okay, great. That's
yeah.
very obvious.
Yeah,
right?
really.
Yeah.
Because he's so funny and
Or
large.
or
And he's
Dave
basic.
Batista.
Yeah,
Dave
we said the same.
Oh,
My God!
Very much, it's much more Dave Batista than it is.
It is.
The Rock.
Yeah, you're right, because he's
What about John Cena as
Okay.
You know,
No.
not bad.
It'd be difficult to see him, but
Dave,
Oh
Dave has but he had some great moments as Drax the Destroyer in
He does.
in Infinity War.
yeah.
Dude, how long are you standing there? An hour.
That was Batman standing there.
That was Batman.
That movement is
Okay,
so
who would be Tech?
I said Matthew Grobler from Spencer Reed, Criminal Minds.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
He wouldn't be very active like Tech is, so that was my only hesitation behind
I
him.
want it to be like Milo
Connor.
Batch from Atlantis.
Yeah.
I think
Connor
like
was
Keanu
just-
Reeves.
Yeah, that's it.
Keanu Reeves. No, he could be like Hunter.
Oh, he would be a good hunter.
I don't know.
Adam
Because
Driver.
of the hair.
Adam
It is,
Driver.
yeah, only because of the hair. Like
Who
him
would-
only
who would
because of
be
the
Tech?
glasses. You.
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely.
You could be Tech.
Agents out there, just in case you're wondering, my phone number is
LinkedIn. See, this is why I told people
my
your
LinkedIn. My front runner casting profile is.
Oh my gosh. And
Who-
then, who's the last one? Oh, Crossfire.
Crosshair.
Oh, what is it?
Crosshair.
Crosshair.
Because it's the crosshair and a...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not the first time I called him Cross. What did I call him?
He could,
Like Starfire?
so you know the guy from Saving Private Ryan that was the sniper and then prayed while he was shooting people? That guy.
Jackson.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my god, I love
You know who would be a good
Crosshair.
hunter? John Krasinski.
Wait, Post.
I was going to typecast and say either Charlie Sheen or Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone, you know.
That's
very
John
much,
Krasinski as Hunter?
Or
because
Keanu
he's so-
Reeves.
That's what we said.
You guys did say Keanu
I
Reeves?
said
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves for Tech more than.
Oh,
than-
that's true.
Yeah,
We
but
said
But
it for
I want
Hunter.
Keanu Reeves for Hunter because he kind of looks more of the part.
Keanu Reeves is probably
But also-
Echo at this point.
But
also
Hunter
these are clones, so they all have to be the same actor.
Plot twist.
But if,
Yeah.
They're all The Rock, but
no,
Who's
but
the-
they're not
Who's the-
because they're the Bad Batch, so they don't all look or act the same. That's why they're the Bad
else?
Batch, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
if they all have to look the same, then
They all
if they're
still-
slightly more buff, then they're all Daniel Radcliffe, and if they're slightly shrimpier, they're all Elijah Wood.
Oh my
That's
God.
it.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's
funny,
very
yeah.
funny.
That's great.
Oh god.
That's hilarious.
Isn't
Yeah.
that weird though?
Let's just cast Elijah Wood for all of those.
There you go.
Elijah Wood as Tech would work.
Or
for
whoever
sure.
the Oompa Loompa and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my
That
God.
would've been that'd be a good idea.
We've gone into a sarcastic loophole.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
That's
I love it though.
Yeah, my bad.
I love it. It's fine.
The gears are turning up here. I'm like really
Yeah,
trying
really.
to think.
Yeah,
I know.
who would these be?
I just we'll be talking and then all of a sudden you'll be like, I know! It's gonna be great.
And I also have to think of my own Bad Batch name.
I've
Yeah,
got
really.
one.
What's going on?
Okay.
What is
Your
yours?
own Bad Batch name?
I'm trying to think if this was a character. Yeah, no,
Contemplating.
yeah, I know we're still on that. I'm trying to think if this character was already named, but is there a clone trooper named Wolf?
Yes.
I was gonna say I think there already
Yeah.
is. So
Yes.
yeah,
I feel like would
Wolf
we
is
name
good.
ourselves or would we name each other?
We could name each other because that would be fun.
assigning
All right,
my-
y'all. Let's not do contemplating.
Yeah, really.
Everybody gets a say.
I'm just kidding, but seriously.
I'm not saying that.
Oh my god.
So we'll be thinking about. one
Connor
for
just texted
everybody
me
now.
a mean thing to name myself.
Connor.
No, I did not.
It was funny, but
Mean.
not for on the air.
That's why I texted it, and then you brought it up.
She didn't say it.
I
It's
didn't say
fine.
it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It
But
wasn't.
now all the audience is like, what?
I know.
It
See,
wasn't
it's
me.
mystery. I'm just creating intrigue.
Yeah.
Tune in. It's clickbait. Tune in next week. Tune in next week to find out what
And
my
make sure
bad
you
batch name
smash
is.
that like button.
Subscribe to the channel. Oh my god.
Wow.
It really
First
helps
person-
out the channel.
First person to buy me a sexy Rex item will learn my
Good
bad
lord,
batch
no, this
name.
is.
Wow, yeah. I can't wait for somebody to do that, and you're gonna be like, all right, found them.
I found him.
have to send them.
Oh! Wow.
Well, that was easy.
What?
Look,
What were we
Rebecca,
talking about?
if you
I don't
really,
know.
there are websites for that. If that's what you're looking for.
I'm just looking for the merch. That's all.
Okay.
The very, very material.
Yeah.
So,
What happened? What were we
So
talking
Bad Batch.
about?
We're trying to talk about episode
names,
3.
and then we got carried away.
But I was trying to make a fun question, and we all got.
yeah.
What was the question
Which is fine.
again?
The celebrities.
Listeners should
Oh, yeah,
comment
yeah,
with their
yeah.
Bad Batch name.
That's true.
Oh, that's so true. I'll tell Danny to post it on Instagram.
Yeah, what
And
are
get it. We
great
can say
questions.
it
What
right
is your
now.
Bad Batch name?
Yeah.
Tell
Say
us
it out loud.
Yeah,
as you
tell
yell-
us.
as you
Tell
dial
us
in
what
front.
your Bad Batch name is in the comments below.
Oh my god.
Oh
that's
my
fun
god!
to do.
And also
Yeah.
smash that like button.
Very self-aware podcast.
Yeah, really. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so I'll start with the episode stuff and then we can get back to the fun stuff. But so the quote for this one, the fortune cookie, the moral of the story. Survival is one step on the path to living. One more time. Survival is one step on the path to living.
I mean, isn't that kind of obvious?
I was gonna say
Yes.
you can't
exactly.
do one without the other.
That's why whenever I was watching the episode and I see the and I saw the quote, I was just like, okay, well that's kind of necessary. And honestly, I've seen a lot of those fortune cookies, and
Before the things,
and
yeah.
I've looked at them and I've went like,
Duh.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
Much better than the
this
last
is-
one, though.
this is
I like it
obvious-
better than the last one.
Yeah.
And like you could actually take this one outside of the episode, right? Because there's spoilers if you haven't watched the episode, but later in the podcast, whatever. But like if you're just surviving, you're not really actually thriving.
Yes.
Or like doing anything super exciting,
Exactly what
right?
I was gonna say.
But like if you're living, you're being fulfilled. You're like you're doing awesome things, and
Yeah.
and you're finding a way to like thrive more than just
Yeah.
survive.
I think
Yeah.
even when thinking about like Echo's situation, like yeah, he's alive, so he's surviving, but he's not doing anything. But he's not living his life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's stuck in being an experiment, which sucks. Okay, they're trapped on Skako Minor with the Poltex, and probably one of my favorite parts of this episode is Rex standing up to the Poltex and like showing them like this is what they did to Echo. Like the Techno Union is not neutral. Like it doesn't matter that you are letting them on your home planet and that they're saying all these things. This is what they're doing. Also, like, look at all these battle droids,
Yes.
sort of thing. Like, hello.
Chaos.
They didn't have this army before, and now all of a sudden they do, and you still think that they're neutral. You know
Right.
what I mean? You had thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, it's really strong thoughts on the whole neutrality thing. Yeah, like if you say, "Hey, I'm neutral," like I swear, but like you have battle droids, and anytime like Republic people come around, you shoot them, and
You don't actually a separatist.
and yeah, like you're definitely a separatist. So like I don't. There's a couple of times in Clone Wars where I don't really understand how somebody is saying like they're neutral when they're definitely not neutral. Trade Federation too. The entire Trade Federation. Like they build an entire army. Literally all droids with their exact same design keep showing up by the trillions across the galaxy, and they're like, "No, man, we just want to attack some trade routes." Like, get out of here! Like, get out of here! You're suspect. Like,
Yes, suspect.
Yeah.
I love that line from Go Will Hunting. Yes, suspect. Keep your ear to the grindstone.
Is this where we
kids.
plug, like, go vote in the presidential primary?
Yeah, really.
Hell
Yeah.
no.
Don't be neutral.
Do
We
not
do
Go
be
vote.
neutral.
They're just
We don't
saying
talk.
go
We don't
vote.
talk about voting, but
We should
like
encourage people to vote.
yeah, no, definitely go vote.
That's
Don't-
what I'm saying.
Don't plug a
I
certain
didn't
thing.
say anything. I said go vote.
Yeah.
But
It's
but
important.
don't sit around and say like, oh yeah, you know, I'm definitely neutral, or like, oh, I'm definitely this, and then not do anything about it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
And these
Exactly.
people are very clearly doing things about it.
Mhm.
Like, we have battle droids, and we're going to kill all the Republic people, and we have this former clone, like in a Neo from the Matrix battery computer situation.
I suppose it's not. They can't be the ones to blame for saying that they're neutral. It's anyone who believes that they're neutral that are the.
That's fair.
The dumb
It's both
ones.
sides,
Yeah,
you know?
really.
It's
Like,
both
no,
sides of,
that's
like,
like-
the coin.
That's like your sibling when you're growing up, like putting their finger right above your head and saying like, "I'm not
I'm not
touching
touching
you,
you."
I'm not touching you," right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Like,
right. You're right.
But
you're
they're
right.
definitely in the wrong for being a little jerk. So
Yes, exactly.
Imagine.
Techno Union.
whatever.
Summary, the Techno Union are little jerks.
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
Mhm.
So is the Trade Federation. Honestly, hated them anyways because, like, I just every time I think of them, I'm appalled at the fact that I really, really loved. I'm gonna hate
What?
that I say this, but like the prequels as a whole, I really love them. I am a prequelist.
I
But
love
I-
that too.
The
Hate
prequel
the
is.
Trade Federation.
Hmm.
And every
Yeah.
time I think about them, I'm like, that's dumb. That's a dumb story.
Lord.
Like that part of the story. Just because I don't like them, I'm indifferent about them now.
I mean, they're greedy. They're
They're
jerks.
just annoying. Like, ugh. Anyways, I'm sorry. Sidetracked. Okay. For me, random cool things that I'd like to mention throughout the episodes. The wings on the D-Wing battle droids were really
Yeah.
cool.
They were like very like high tech. They were like
Yes.
screens.
They
What
look
did
like,
Techno
they
Union.
look
What
like pterodactyls.
What did everybody say when the little droids started flying?
they,
Everybody-
they fly now.
What did I say?
They
Everybody
fly now.
here said they fly now.
Oh,
They
That's
fly
true.
now.
They
Yeah,
fly now.
yeah.
They fly. If you at home, I bet you said they fly now. And if
Yeah.
you didn't, sorry.
I hope that was their goal.
Or no,
I
it's
hope
more
their
like they're
goal
built
was
to
like,
fly
we're
now.
going to make these things
Yeah.
fly, and everybody's going to go, they fly now? And everybody in the house is going to laugh, and it's going to be a great time. That's what
what
they
hap-
talk about in the meetings when they're planning this.
and
It's
it
on the
worked.
storyboard. And here's the memes. This
Here's
is
the
where
folks at home
yeah,
giggling,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
this is it.
You just
quoting
imagine.
episodes.
Yeah.
You just imagine being in one of the storyboard rooms.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would love that.
I would cry.
For me, this episode felt a lot like Bug's Life with blasters. I didn't really have that realization until they were all like flying in at the same time, and I immediately saw like Hopper and all his little
Oh my
crickets.
god!
Right? Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
See, here's
Scary.
the thing.
That makes it very scary.
I know, 'cause
Here's
I
the
was scared
thing,
of
Trade
that.
Federation.
Yeah.
The ants pick the food. The
I
ants
went-
pick the food. And the grasshoppers leave.
Eat the food.
And the Techno Union keeps the echo.
Oh God. See, everything aligns. Anyways, so major part of the, well, I don't want to say major. There are like 3 moments in this one where Anakin goes back to his roots of being cocky Jedi Skywalker. Thoughts?
Yeah.
He like I think he was very happy to be like in charge of this mission. Like I mean, not that he hasn't been before, but he was just like really feeling the role, and he was showing off. Like they called him out for showing off, but I also feel like he was stronger than he sometimes is. Like I feel like he never uses his like force push or force whatever force. I don't know, grab force.
Yeah, force
Pull.
pull. Force
There you
grab.
I don't know.
No, I get
Is
you.
it really called force pull?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's what it's called in
Um,
Jedi Fallen Order, so.
Okay,
That's it.
fabulous. Well, there you go. So I just feel like you don't always see him doing those things. So he was showing off, but it was like working out for him. It wasn't like he was, just showing off to show off. Like he was
Right.
just using cool,
His abilities. and
good
being happy
abilities.
about it.
Yeah, and then he helped. There was a lot of teamwork. It was good.
There was a lot of teamwork. I was very proud of that in
Yeah.
this episode, as if I did anything to it,
But like when Wrecker was underneath the foot of the big walker,
Yeah, that
and
was
then Anakin cuts the leg off, and
Mm-hmm. Then they work
Good
together
stuff.
to take it down.
That was kind of the cool thing that like they set up Anakin as this total just BA, right? He goes and he takes out this whole walker on his own, and then the clones are like, oh wow, we can't compete with the Jedi. But then working together, literally the 4 of them or 3 of them like compete with a Jedi, which was really cool.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my questions for you guys. So like in the concept of Star Wars, obviously there are Jedi, there are Sith, there are clones, and all of these things, all of these elements of war and politics. But if we took out the clones and we just had the Jedi, or if we took out the clones and we only had Anakin on like a mission like this, you know what I mean? Like if it was simplified to one thing, do you think the story, how much would the story change?
Yeah. The other?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that they could.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if this battle had come to be without the clones, like, if the clones had never been an option, if they were just going to go into battle with the Jedi. Because they were like, we have peacekeepers right there with weapons.
Yeah, I mean,
why do we need clones?
I think part of the idea of the clone army is just power in numbers.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like, they need more bodies on the battlefield. Not to say that they're just bodies or numbers or anything, but like,
No,
I mean, that was part of the goal.
We have more so that we fight
exactly.
this.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my thoughts on
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It's like a very, I would say broad question, but it's also like such a simplified question, I would say. Like, there's also definitely deeper ways to answer it, but like, plain and simple, like, no, neither of them would survive without the other. Like, if it was just clones, it would just be like regular war, like you're watching like 1917.
I think that clones would have a better chance of surviving without Jedi than Jedi would have surviving without clones.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I think you're not wrong, because it's like real world war, you know? Like, people with guns.
Yeah.
You know?
No powers or abilities. Yeah.
But power in numbers is still a factor, though. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The droids outnumber the clones, right? I mean, on multiple occasions, for real.
Droids and
because they're so much cheaper to make.
What there's in episode 2, there's 200,000 units already now, with 1 million more well on the way. Right? There's not tons and tons of clone troopers.
Love that you know that.
Jedi,
I'm telling you,
love a good quote. Yeah. No, but like there's not an unlimited supply of clone troopers, and Jedi are worth thousands and thousands of battle droids.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that gets into bigger questions like, hey, what was the Jedi's actual role in the conflict? Like, how did they cause it? Should they have gotten involved in the first place? Like, real talk, like, should the Republic have just let the people secede in the first place? Like, the answer to that's probably like, yeah, you know, like, if you don't want to be a part of an opt-in Republic and, you know, you're going to fight for it, like, we don't really want to force you to stay. Whatever. You know, let's figure out how to work through this. But that's a different
That's
question.
a whole other, like, level of politics in Star Wars. Yeah.
That's a whole extra podcast.
That's
honestly, we could do a podcast on politics in Star Wars, because I don't really get it. I mean, I get it, but like from a very surface level perspective. Like,
that's what's interesting about the High Republic era. Like that's going to come out potentially with Project Luminous.
Yeah.
Like it'll be so cool to see. Hey, what was it intended to look like?
Yeah.
After sort of Old Republic, like, hey, when was it when it was working great? And then what happened when Sheev and Plagueis showed up and like really messed stuff up?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God! What if we get to see Darth Plagueis?
That'd be excited. Like that'd be awesome.
I love that's my favorite novel. Like that's it, and I think it's Legends.
The James Sereno one.
Yeah. Is it Legends now?
It's Legends,
right? Yeah, and
it came out right before they said, all right,
which is why it doesn't have the Legends label on it, which is why I'm always forgetful about it. But it's so good. Okay, let's talk about like our main focus of this one, which is Echo. I know that he's not like active in it, but he is the main point of it. So with him, our last interaction with him was on the Citadel. We also saw like Anakin interacting with Tarkin. We saw the little goblin looking Jedi. What's his name? I don't know. Starts with an E.
Even Peel or something.
Yeah.
Professor Flitwick.
His name's not Even Peel.
I think it is. No.
Even Peel?
I think it's Evan or Even. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm pretty sure his last name is Peel.
Literally Flitwick.
Come on. Okay, so Wicket?
Flitwick.
All of the above.
I'll find them.
So, Griphook. It's funny because he's...
Give me a minute.
I'm just doing Warwick Davis's one-man show that he does right now.
Yeah, really.
Warwick is so
you
great.
mean...
He's an icon.
I
I want to meet him.
What's his?
That'd be great to meet.
Shoot!
Yeah, he's so
I ruined
nice.
my own joke.
Oh gosh, you were right.
Yeah.
It's even
Oh
Peel.
my god, I'm literally a genius.
Look, they literally just were like, it's like
Wait,
a
I
random...
remembered my last joke. Pull. You mean Willow? Okay. Go ahead.
Anyway.
Man.
Round it out. Even Peel. The look Connor's giving me right now.
And we're...
The first time I've received that.
That's it. Turn off the podcast.
There it is. There
Call
it is.
back.
What were you going to say,
back.
Connor?
What were you going to say about Even Peel?
No, Even Peel's like just, you
Is
know...
his name Even?
It's
or
it's
Evan?
E-V-E-N.
Oh my god.
Which, like, in
Even.
English, I'm pretty sure is even.
Right, but Even Peel is like how we were saying even keel.
But I don't know, like, Arabesh, like, if maybe you put the
Right.
emphasis on a different syllable,
Oh my
like,
God.
halfway through the name.
He's right, you know.
But he's like, no, he's like
that
a...
was a collective eye roll for
Yeah.
the other three people in this.
No, he's like if you're creating a random character on your 17th playthrough of Skyrim and you're like, oh, I know, I want him to have big ears, and also like maybe you should have a ponytail. And, like, yeah,
You like let your kid
Yeah.
brother like pick out the
Yeah.
different, or you
Like-
like let one member of the family pick out. A
You're
different
rolling the
attribute.
dice on it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
oh, he's 60 years old and he never moisturized, so he'll have a lot of wrinkles, right?
my
Like
God.
that's
He also got like stabbed in the eye at one point, right? He's missing an eye. Or it's
yeah. Well,
messed
I wasn't
up.
gonna say anything about that.
Well,
Too late.
too late.
He has an eye patch.
Oh, does he really?
He was fatally wounded by an
Wounded.
anuba.
Who?
What?
All right, so we'll do
This
a whole
is-
episode on
This
even
is
Peel.
this is live action. Us learning
Guys,
about
just go
Star
read
Wars.
Wikipedia on Even Peel. Good luck spelling it. Enjoy. Have a good time.
E-E-N as English.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's all you get.
Even.
Oh man. Okay.
What were we
and
talking
then-
about? Echo. We were talking about Echo.
Yeah, focusing really on Echo, and the fact that the last place we saw him was the Citadel, and that's also the last thing he remembers. So he's like only alive by cerebral interface, really. Like he's obviously like skinny and,
Gray.
for lack of a better word, dying slowly, which kind of stinks. But somehow he's alive, and then they unhook him. And I don't know, like, I guess that's the cerebral interface, right? Like, that's what he's hooked up to. But, like, what was all the other stuff on him?
I
Do
don't
we
know, the whole
have
spine
theories
thing?
about that? It was
I-
everywhere. It was on his
I don't-
stomach. It was on his
I
head,
honestly
and
don't
his
want to ever
spine.
think
It's
about
like-
that spine thing ever
It's
again.
gross, yeah.
It really gave me the
Oh, no.
heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
We've all seen The Matrix, so it's very much like. The
I have
Yes.
not seen The Matrix.
You haven't seen The
What?
Matrix?
It's been years since I've seen The Matrix.
This
It's
is
been a long
So
time.
the main character in The
Oh my
Matrix
God, no
would be a
spoilers.
really good actor
Keanu.
for tech, I think.
Keanu.
Oh.
It's Keanu.
The
It's
breath,
Keanu Reeves.
the breath.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I know he was in it. I didn't know he was the main character.
Yeah, he's making.
Turn off the
Upsetting.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
kind of weird to see Echo like that.
Yeah, yeah. It made me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also like, I was just kind of, like concerned about what
It was
all the
very-
other knobs
yeah.
did.
Yeah, it was
But-
really sad, and I didn't know like why. Like, was he being tested on? Was he being
So-
These questions
experimented?
to be
Was he being
solved.
controlled?
I
like,
think it was for them to figure out how the clones' minds worked for tactics, like war tactics.
Well, that's what the thing in his head was for, right?
Right.
Like that's what they said in the
Yeah.
first or second episode, right?
Yeah.
That was like the separatist secret weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But
like the chip.
no, that
The thing that was
That's what's
inhibitor chip,
control.
That
This
was
is
the
more
control
like
thing. This was more just like their
understand.
interface into his brain
Oh,
to get
okay.
all the information about
Alright,
clone
alright.
tactics and
Like
training
just the
and stuff like
biology.
Yeah.
that. Yeah. What if? I'm going to toss this one out there.
Bum, bum.
What if some of like the cybernetics and enhancements that were made to Echo were also things that our old buddy Sheev was like asking about as like, hey, how do we control biology and control bodies
You're not the first
in a
person
way
I've
that
heard
might
say
be
that.
useful for maybe like if my apprentice gets sliced into quarters. Like
Or
in the
if
future.
I get tossed down a Death Star core.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe I need to be cloned one day and like have my fingernails trimmed. Like who knows?
Did you guys read the leaks yet on the novelization?
Yeah.
Oh, about how
Yeah,
he
I
is
read
a
about-
clone.
he's
I
a
heard,
clone.
yeah, because I heard some.
That's
Yeah.
another podcast. We can't do that
Yeah.
one today.
Yeah, all these
Yeah.
random fun facts. You guys can look it up on your own, or you can wait for an episode. Ooh, I suggest the latter. Okay, so yeah, Echo, we're all concerned. Summary of how we feel.
But then he helped
That
them
last
escape. Like,
yeah, he did fine.
He was
Get
like,
out of
all
there.
right, like, let me teach you, like, tell you about how to get out of here even though you're not going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
He seemed
So, like-
very like himself for most of that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Wat Tambor rolling around on his like hoverboard and then deciding that or like his line at the end, it's like, well, we need to figure out how the Techno Union recoup on their investment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like and maintains our
like
profit
what you
margin.
gonna do?
Like, what does that mean? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna play the
Also,
guy
where
out?
were you
Like-
making money from this?
Yeah.
like selling
paid
the
for
battle
it?
plans clearly?
Oh,
But at that point,
yeah.
you're not neutral, which is like Like,
Connor's
if
bottom
The
money-
line.
hill Connor
If-
is going to die on.
if money's the only thing that decides whose side you're on, then like stop making money from the bad guys. Play
Well,
the good
and that's
guys.
a callback to Canto Bite, too.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Wow.
There you go. Wow.
Wow,
And that
full
really
circle.
great piece of cinema known as The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's for another
I was
podcast.
gonna say, oh, we're not getting into the
Turn off the podcast.
There's a lot of them.
That's gonna be the name of this
A
episode.
lot of them.
Turn off the podcast.
I enjoy
Turn
it.
off the podcast. But then they'll actually do it, and then they won't ever hear us.
What are your other
true.
thoughts? What you think?
And then the end.
I think, I
Those
think-
last two shots, they were saying something.
It was
That he's up to
yes.
he's either up to something or something's up.
Yeah.
very sad foreshadowing.
Yeah, so what was it? It's gonna be just like
I'll call
old
it dark
times.
foreshadowing.
And he's like,
Yeah.
just like old times. And then he like,
And then he smirked.
yeah, he like, for me, I watched it like 2 times after I watched the episode. And I like backed it up and I was like, is he smiling? And I was
it's
like, am I imagining the smile
it's
because
like-
I'm convinced about it?
It's when you read a book and they say the line, and a shadow passed across his face.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like, you just saw this, like, shadow pass across his face.
Yeah. Do we think it's him being bad? Do we think it's Techno Union being bad? Or do you think he's just worried?
I'm telling you, I don't think that he is him.
I think it's a mix of worry and a mix of Techno Union may have something up their sleeve.
No, I don't think it's him.
We'll see.
Like, it's him, but I don't think it's him.
What do you think it's
Right.
him? What do you think is not him?
Like he's, like, mind controlled, or
Okay.
it's, like, something isn't happening in his body, and, like, it's just a shell, like, the shell of Echo, and, like, something else is in his...
an echo.
Ooh.
Sorry. Connor.
Major
Being awfully
spoiler.
quiet.
Chris.
Oh, my God. And that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
That's the After Dark podcast.
Do you think it's Echo? What do you think that meant?
I feel like very confident that it's Echo.
Being gonna turn evil.
But so we were talking before tonight about how important all little facial expressions are, like in each of the series. A few of us were pointing out things in Rebels where one person might make a very slight facial expression, yeah, and like all those things end up being important. It feels pretty heavy-handed to put it at the end of an episode like this, to just, oh yeah, here's the guy that we're not sure if he's good or bad, and he's going to kind of smirk a little bit, but
Or like a guy that we know is good or has been good
yeah,
and now has gone through trauma.
Right.
I
And we
certainly
don't know
hope
what's
he's
gonna
good.
happen.
I hope it's the guy, right? Because I don't want to hurt Rex like that, right? Because Rex is like. But then at the same time, oh man, we're getting so much foreshadowing as I think about it. Like Anakin's like, look, just know that like that might not be the Echo that you know, right? And there's a lot of examples of other characters kind of coming back and not being the same person.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, before I end this, like Anakin's very insightful looking from the outside in, and it's just like, Anakin, please look at your situation.
Mm-hmm. Patience. Use the Force.
Yeah,
Think.
like Palpatine is telling you all of these things from his perspective, and Obi-Wan is trying to cancel that out, and you're not recognizing that. You know?
Yeah.
No, many factors involved.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Hello.
We'll wait, I'll delete this.
Okay, so
Or I'll leave it.
Cut them right out.
Well, all right, you guys ready to close it?
I guess so.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please don't forget to follow the main channel at Kessel Run Weekly on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And follow me personally at CJerica on Instagram and CJerica95 on Twitter. You can also visit my blog, CheyenneHoover.wordpress.com for Star Wars Sunday, almost every Sunday. And then all my other things like movie reviews and book reviews. Joe, where can they find you?
That Wizard Joe on Instagram.
Great.
That's literally all I have.
Great. Sounds good. Rebecca, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Rebhoff29.
And Connor.
You can find me at my house.
And LinkedIn.
At an undisclosed location.
Yeah, and LinkedIn.
If you have any comments, questions, concerns, non-snotty remarks to any things that Connor said, please feel free to reach out to me and I will pass the message on to him. Thank you all so much for listening, and may the Force be with you. Always.
Beep, beep, beep.